Hello everyone, welcome to Shannon Gardens. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So today I wanted to take you guys around the garden and show you what's in bloom now, and also wanted to show you my containers that I've finally completed in my backyard. So I'll take you around and just show you what's in bloom and what I've done so far. Now, I did want to preface and say that I am in Zone 7B and I am in the southeastern US. So just to give you guys an idea so that you can see what is in bloom currently in my location. All right, let's get to it. So I thought I would start with containers that I have in most or full sun. The first container has a couple of my go-to summertime plants, one being the Diplodenia, and this is just a very hardy plant that blooms all summer and can really withstand the heat. And I paired that with the Vinca here. I just thought that the white looked really nice and paired nicely with the red. And then another go-to plant, which is Portulaca, and again, this is a sun-loving plant and really just doesn't take any maintenance. It's just very easy to care for. And then this is my creeping Jenny, which will fill in here and flow off of the side. So this is an example of one of the containers that I've planted. And then in another container, I have a couple of other go-to plants. I have my pentas here, which have not started blooming quite yet, but they're just about to, paired with some annual lantana. And again, I'm looking for plants that bloom all summer that really can withstand the heat and don't need a lot of maintenance. And so these are the plants that I go to year after year. I will try other plants as well, but I do have my staples that I tend to go to that I can depend on. Now this container is an example of using perennials as well as annuals in your container. I have this garden phlox in the back, and this was actually divided from my perennial garden. It's phlox that I've had for years, and I just started using it in my containers as well as I divided them and found out that it did quite well in containers. So this will be blooming a nice light lavender here soon, and then I've paired it with some celosia and zinnias, and then again I've got my portulaca here in this orange coloration to drape over the bottom. And I also tucked in some marigolds right here as well. Now honestly, this is probably the plant I am most excited about adding to my containers this year. This is a coral flame dwarf garden phlox, and again, this is a perennial that I'm choosing to use in my container, and I will probably either split it next year and put some in my perennial garden as well, or I may decide to move it all to my perennial garden. But for now, I'm starting it in my container. Now beneath this, and let me just actually show you guys this color. Isn't this so pretty? But beneath that, I have planted my tried and true pentas and then some creeping Jenny as well, again to flow off the side of that pot. And I really like the creeping Jenny because it has that nice bright color, and I love pairing it with a darker leaf of other plants. I just think that it adds a nice contrast to your containers. I also wanted to share this pot that is in full sun. This plant is called Rulia, and actually one of the blossoms just fell off. And so I wanted to show you guys, this one attracts hummingbirds. I really like to try to add plants that do attract hummingbirds or butterflies to the garden. And then I paired that with portulaca as well to drape over the edge. Now I do also try to include hibiscus in at least one larger container every year, and this one I had to show you guys. This is the Hollywood hibiscus Disco Diva, and just look at that color. I think that it's so pretty. It's just starting to open up. It's got lots of buds on it, so I cannot wait to see it in full bloom. And then here in a couple of hanging baskets, I have more Diplodenia planted as well as creeping Jenny down below to hang over these hanging baskets. So this is a shadier spot in my yard, and I have few of those. So I wanted to show you guys what I chose to plant. I've got 4 different containers here, and in the first one, which gets the most sun out of these 4 pots, I planted plumbago, which is a favorite of mine. I think that this color is so pretty. I wish it was a perennial in my area, but unfortunately it's not. So I do add it every year in my containers as an annual. And then I've paired it with the pentas, which I know can withstand the stronger afternoon sun. But then as we circle around the tree, we get into a shadier space, and that's where I have these brightly colored impatiens planted. And then also I wanted to show you guys, but I actually have my Lenten roses are still blooming, which I am just shocked. So I've got those, and I thought that they looked really, really nice with these impatiens here. And I do like the bright color of these impatiens because it does brighten up this shadier area. Now in my little shade garden here that my daughter and I put together every year, I've got some impatiens planted in this pot, as well as begonias. And then I have my hosta in front of my relaxing frog. And then I was actually gifted some of these vines, and so I placed one of them here in the garden. And then I have a hydrangea behind that has not started blooming yet, but I anticipate that it will soon. And then here at the very front, I have another penta, and that is the plant in this little shade, or mostly shade garden, that gets the most sun. So I wanted to make sure to put a plant there that would be able to withstand that hot afternoon sun. Now moving on to my perennial hill, I've got different types of verbena that are starting to bloom, as well as my drift roses, which I absolutely love. They are so easy to care for. So you'll notice I've got quite a few drift roses here. Here's some more verbena. I have my butterfly weed that is just starting to bloom as well. And I think these look pretty even before they start blooming. I just think that color is so nice. And then I have my agastache in bloom, as well as the siskiyou. Here's some more drift roses. Look at this color of this coral drift rose. I have some more verbena here. Now remember, you can find verbena. This is a low growing perennial and it spreads. And remember that you can find some that are more suited for part sun, and then some that are suited for full sun. So be sure to check out the tags to make sure that you're getting the appropriate one for your location. My beard tongue is still blooming here. Let me show you guys this. The inside, which is so pretty to me. I think that this is so delicate looking. I have my Gerber daisies here, which just reminds me of sunset. You can tell we had a little bit of rain here just a bit ago. So I've got a little pool of water in the middle of this one. And then we have the coreopsis blooming. Now here I have some salvia that's just starting to bloom. This came from a divided plant that's been divided many, many times over, and this is a newly divided one. Actually, I'm surprised that it's blooming so quickly because I just divided it not too long ago at all, so it's really taken off in this location. And as you'll see, I have several different varieties of salvia, and they come in a multitude of different varieties and colors and sizes that you can choose from. Now this is a stilby, which is a part shade to shade perennial, and I just think this color is beautiful. This is a new addition to the perennial garden this year, and I am very, very excited for it to take off. As I've researched more about these, I really find that there are so many different varieties, and I would love to continue adding these in my part shade areas. Now here I have some more salvia. This is actually a salvia that I've had for years, and it still continues to do well. It is very, very hardy and comes back every year. I have my guara beside that salvia, and again, this is a very, very hardy perennial and just does so well. I do not have to worry with it. It's just a very dependable perennial. And look at this little bee. How cute is this? To the left of the guara, I've got a dwarf variety of salvia. Again, just a different variety of salvia, and this is a smaller variety, and I just thought that that color, that fuchsia, is so pretty. Then behind the guara, I've got my Chapel Hill lantana, which has started to bloom as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm so glad I got to show you what's been going on here and what I've been putting together so far. And we'll continue to give you updates as we get more into the summer season and everything starts blooming even more. So thank you so much again. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, happy gardening and goodbye.